What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, it's Friday. It's Friday. I'm so happy it is Friday. Guys, welcome to another edition of Quita in the Morning. Guys, we got some stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about Dawn Staley and her comments about ducking because, Dawn Staley ain't ducking for nobody. We're going to talk about some of the games that we have to look forward to going into next year between South Carolina and UConn. We're going to talk about Sienna Betts. I got an injury update for you all on that front. And speaking of UCLA, everybody's talking about scheduling, including head coach for UCLA, Corey Close, who basically said that Dawn Staley was right and that teams are ducking UCLA because they are good. We're going to talk about some of the blowouts that happened yesterday and talk about the $2 million WNBA player. That and a whole lot more on Quita in the Morning.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
All right. Anyway, let's get into it. Guys. The news just came out. We will see South Carolina versus UConn in the women's in the Hall of Fame Women's Showcase. That is happening next season. This is the first season in 2025 or 2025-2026 season where we are not seeing South Carolina play UConn. They've been playing each other for what? Like several years straight that they have played each other. And this year didn't work out. But next year they are all set on November the 24th. So that means I got to get my ticket now. Well, not get my ticket now. I gotta prepare for my flight now. November 24th, 2026 at Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. Yes, that is where the Connecticut Sun play. So that's something to note there. Tickets for that game will go on sale next year. So there's nothing you can do now if you're like, oh, I really want to go. It is what it is. Anyway, we have seen South Carolina play UConn for a lot, right? These two teams, UConn and South Carolina, have been the best of the best when it's come to women's basketball. They've accounted for 4 of the last 8 national championships, right? 3 of those was South Carolina. 1 last year was UConn, right? They played each other at least once for the last 11 seasons, guys. And in that time, we have seen South Carolina continue to play better and better and better against UConn. Remember, guys, UConn was a team that teams just didn't beat. You just really didn't beat UConn until Dawn Staley came around and it really has consistently been beating UConn. Over the last 6 years, South Carolina is 5-3 against UConn. I believe in Dawn Staley's career, she's 5 wins, 10 losses against Gino. And so they're going to be playing next year. So that's very, very exciting. Also, guys, we will see them play UConn again in 2027 as well. Now, this one is going to be in the Ally tip-off. And so, next year, South Carolina will play North Carolina in the tip-off, in the Ally tip-off in 2027. They'll play UConn, and then in 2028, they will play NC State. Because, again, guys, they put this stuff out way in advance. Okay? Especially games against big teams like this. Like, it takes a long time to make sure all the details are worked out and they schedule that stuff way in advance. So like, yeah, now we know because it's Mike's super short show. Anyway, speaking of South Carolina versus UConn, Don ended up responding to trolls, to people who always got something to say. And she ended up responding about the ducking allegations. So before I go on any further, here is specifically what Dawn Staley had to say.
Like, we've been accused of ducking and all of that crap. Like, it is important. Like, we've been accused of ducking and all of that crap. Like, come on. When we played UConn for the past, I don't know, 11 seasons. Now is the time to duck. This, we could have ducked, 7, 8, 9 years ago. No, it just so happened that I think they got more games scheduled on their conference, so it was hard to continue to home and home. But we were gonna find a way to play. Unfortunately for us, it's Hall of Fame. So it's a great competition for us and for women's basketball.
I gotta tell you, I just continue to love Dawn's responses to stuff. Here's the thing: she didn't have to respond to people saying that South Carolina's ducking and UConn's a top dog and blah 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 blah, because number one, the record shows how good South Carolina has been. Again, between South Carolina and UConn, they've won 4 out of the last 8 NCAA championships, and 3 of those 4 was South Carolina. So, like, her record shows for itself. It shows for itself the 11 seasons straight that she has opted to play UConn when she didn't have to. But she chose to respond, and, I think sometimes, people feel like they need to do that. Did she have to? No. Did I love that she responded? Yes. Did I think her response was awesome? Yes. It's like, hey, we're not ducking. We're not ducking, y'all. There was a reason for it, and it's a scheduling thing and blah, 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 blah. That's your answer. And the thing I loved actually about this is the reason why I actually wanted to cover this is because of this. Okay, so after there was a reporter who ended up putting out a video of Dawn Staley responding and talking about why they didn't play UConn this year. And my favorite thing about it was the reply that Aflac gave to that post. Because I tell you, Aflac, the person who is handling social media for Aflac, they be paying attention. Because I thought this was hilarious. Anybody else think this was funny? The Aflac duck says, "The only duck Dawn Staley knows is me." Personally, I thought that was hilarious, and I was like, oh, I got to talk about this. I got to talk about this. Okay? All right. I just thought it was funny. Denise says Dawn ain't ducking, period. Yeah, she's not ducking. She's not ducking. She not ducking. And yes, K2 Shy, yes. Why can't UConn be ducking? UConn's not ducking either. But like, I'm just saying, like, why does it have to be Dawn ducking? Why can't it be UConn ducking? Neither one is ducking, number one. Because we've seen them play each other year after year after year after year. Okay? She didn't have to respond. I liked her response. She not ducking. And so if there was any doubt, let this be your confirmation that, yeah. Shamika says Aflac is hilarious. Yeah, I thought it was funny. I I thought it was absolutely funny, okay? I thought it was a funny response. I did. Tulip says, might as well play the fans in attendance. Here's the thing. This comment actually makes me have a thought. Can we organize a maybe it's during the Final Four or something like that? But can we organize a fan versus fan game? Can we do that? Can we organize a game of the top, let's just say 11 South Carolina fans playing a game of 5-on-5 basketball versus the top 11 UConn fans versus the top 11 like NC State fans versus the top 11. You go down the line. UCLA fans, like, it would be so cool. So cool if we did something like that. Top 11, LSU fans, top 11 Tennessee fans. Like, I think this would be a fire idea. Because wouldn't it be fun for you to rep your team and try to beat everybody else, okay? I tell you, that'd be fun. That would be very, very fun. I really do think we should have something like that. Because a whole bunch of fans got a lot to say. And I think it'd be really fun if they just battled it out on the court. There has to be some rules. So, like, you can't be on, like, the South Carolina fan team if you played college basketball at South Carolina. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't have played college basketball or higher. Like, this is for, like, better than normal people, right? You may have played in high school or whatever, and maybe you play in, like, a rec league or whatever, but you didn't play in college, you never played professional. Like, we had to set some rules around that, but I think that would be really, really, really fun. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, because I think that'd be fun. Because you know how the media plays, like in the NBA, some of the media teams play the coaching staff, and the coaches always kill them. But I always wonder, like, what if you pick, like, the most talented fans? I think that could be kind of fun. Difficult, but fun. Olivia says I could do 2K. That's about it. Me too. I mean, why not? I don't even have a team, so I wouldn't even be able to play on a team. I would cover the games. That's for sure. I would cover the games. All right. Ari says, who paying the medical bills for injury? Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing right there. Oh, man. Shamika says it should be the loudest and most aggressive fans on social media. Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be kind of fun. That would be kind of fun, okay? Kentucky Rick says instead of timeouts, they'd have to have beer and popcorn breaks. And then get back on out there, okay? Polo says I ain't playing. I'm being a stands, watching and cheering. Fair enough. I'll be on the sideline watching. I meant for real. Yeah. I meant for real basketball. But yeah, injury-wise, yeah, that could actually be an issue. Yeah, because people would get injured. That's for sure. People would get injured. But it'd be fun, though. NCAA, if somebody knows anybody at the NCAA, I feel like that could be a fantastic fan activation. Or even a WNBA activation for the All-Star game, right? For WNBA Live. Like, literally, be like, okay, we're going to have signups for players who are repping certain teams. It's like, hey, all the teams in the WNBA are accounted for in terms of their fan base. Have them sign up to play. And give the winner a chance to meet and greet with the team that they playing for. I'm telling you, that could be fun. That could be really, really fun. Okay? I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave it there. But I tell you that's a fantastic activation. You'd have a lot of people showing up to cheer on their favorite teams. Of course, it'll be a unisex team because, you know, fans from everywhere. But like an issue of like, okay, they can't be more than like 3 dudes on the team or something like that. Like, or no, maybe it's 2 dudes maximum on a team. Because I feel like it's too complicated to be like, okay, we're gonna have a girls team with this tournament, and we're gonna have a boys team with this tournament. I don't know. I feel like that's too much. You can make it unisex and no more than 2 dudes on a team. Because otherwise it'd be a domination. Well, assuming they're good players. All right. So we're continuing on in the conversation. First of all, thank you for starting that whole rabbit hole of a discussion. I thought that was fantastic. Next up, I want to continue the topic of schedules, because Corey Close was warned. She was warned, guys. And she was warned by none other than Dawn Staley. See how all of this is, you know, I'm trying to make sure all my episodes sort of like weave together, and like what I talk about in the first kind of continues on. But anyway, Corey Close was warned by Dawn Staley, and it involves scheduling. So yesterday, after UCLA's pretty easy victory, she made a comment before questions were asked, thanking her opponent for playing them and basically alluding to it being difficult to schedule games. And later on in the press conference, she was asked about it a little bit more. And here is what Corey Close had to say. Take a listen.
And teams are scared to play you guys in terms of lining up opponents. You've got some, very quality opponents coming up, though. Yeah. How much of that is kind of the result of being a Final Four team and being able to really beef things up?
Yeah, it was interesting. Dawn Staley warned me about this. She 2 years ago. This is actually at the Final Four. She goes, "You're about to have your hardest scheduling year," because she goes, "I didn't want to play all the games I played this year, but no one else would play us." And it's really interesting. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. I've been on the other side. I was at Santa Barbara for 9 years. If you want to grow and be challenged, and if you're a competitor, you step into those places. And they kept saying, "Oh, it's the Lauren Betts factor." And I was like, "No, it's your scared factor." I'm like, come on. I actually really lose respect for people that aren't willing to, step up and play hard people. And I'm never going to demean anyone. I'm never going to press them for 40 minutes and try to make someone look bad. But that's what makes me respect so much the Cal Polys, the Long Beaches, the Santa Barbaras. You think about all these teams in our area and how we could work together to grow, women's basketball here in Southern California. We called every single school from Cal Poly to San Diego, and obviously credit to San Diego State too. And it's one of those things. And she did warn me about it, but this is the hardest year of scheduling I've ever had. And I think you're exactly right. It's the result of being from the Final Four.
So that is what Coach Corey Close, the head coach of UCLA, had to say after UCLA's game yesterday. And the reason why I wanted to cover this is because I wanted to remind everybody that games don't just happen, right? You have to get the team that you want to play to say yes to playing you. UCLA and Corey Close, they reached out to a bunch of teams. Bunch of teams said no. And Corey Close has found it hard to schedule games because teams don't want to play them. And this is not a new thing, right? We've heard Don Staley talk about the same exact thing of having really good teams say no. And what can you do? What can you do if some really good teams that are outside of your conference, if you want to play them and they say, actually, nah, nope, I don't want to play you. What do? You play who you can play. You play, UC Santa Barbara. You play Cal Poly. You play whatever teams that will allow you to play against them. And yes, those games end up being blowouts. Yes, they do. And yesterday we saw a boatload of blowouts. A lot of blowouts. And we will continue to see a lot of blowouts because that's really what a lot of this first half of the college season gives us. It gives us blowout after blowout after blowout after blowout. And to be truly transparent with you guys, there is no real end in sight. Not really. Unless certain teams stop running scared, and actually play tougher competition. Here's the deal. Yesterday, UCLA won pretty easily against UC Santa Barbara, which is the previous place that Corey Close actually used to coach. They won 87-50. In the fourth quarter, UC Santa Barbara only scored 7 points. And you could tell that UCLA was taking it easy on them. They were. They were taking it easy on them. They were. This was not as aggressive as UCLA could have been. It wasn't. Right? And then yesterday, I'm sure all y'all saw this. LSU winning 115-26. It was, blowouts. Okay? We saw North Carolina wipe out Elon 71-37. We saw Oklahoma State take down Langston 105-35. We saw Kentucky beat Monmouth 104-46. This is something we will continue to see as the season goes on. Because these are games where the other team has to want to play you. And if the teams that say yes are these teams that are not very good, teams that are getting a really nice check for playing, well, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, which is why, yes, college basketball is here and it's fantastic, but the greatness of college basketball starts in January when conference play starts. That's really when it gets super intense. That's really when every game is super important because right now we have a lot of sporadic games. A lot of sporadic games that are really fun and are competitive, but for the most part, it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's what it is in women's college basketball, right? It's not that difficult of games, which is understandable. Like this is not me saying something that is a revolutionary thing. It's a thing that we all know is true. It is what it is. And so we will have some games that are super close. We will. We will have some games that are like Arizona versus UC Riverside, where Arizona almost got. Now, yes, is Arizona ranked? No, they're not. But they did almost get got yesterday. At home, might I add. Where I don't have a graphic for it, but this team, it went down to the wire. Final score 62-59. So we do see some close games. This is not me saying that everything at the beginning of the season is bad. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is a large majority of it, especially featuring top 25 teams, is blowouts, is easy games, is, instances where it's like, okay, this wasn't much of a battle, right? But then you have some really competitive games, like a game that we will see on, Sunday between USC and NC State, right? That's going to be a really fun game. A really, really, really fun game. We'll have Oklahoma versus UCLA. We'll have some competitive games coming up. But I did just want to talk about the fact that, Corey Close sees it too. Sometimes as a coach, you're not ducking. Sometimes teams that you want to play just say no. And you have a hard time trying to figure out who you want to play. All right, so more UCLA news in just a sec. But first, I want to talk to you all about Factor, because if I feel like I might just want to call this Factor Fridays, because there's some times where you are just busy. You got a lot of stuff going on. You don't have a lot of time to worry about what to eat. You don't have time to prepare a meal. You don't want to go to McDonald's or Burger King or whatever and get some fast food. But you want convenience. And that is where Factor comes in. They are chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals that make it easy to stay on track with whatever your dietary needs are, and enjoy some food that is both comforting and delicious. No matter how much is going on, no matter how little time you have, you order from Factor. The meals come through. Put them in the fridge. When you're ready to eat, put it in the microwave, and voila! You got some tasty, tasty food. Now, personally, I know this because y'all know, if y'all were rocking with this channel like last year, y'all know that I was using Factor, and I really enjoyed the meals that Factor had to offer. That's why a lot of people recommend Factor. 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. And you can feel the difference no matter what your routine is when you choose Factor. Personally, I like Factor, and I think you will too. So eat smart at factormeals.com/Quita50off and use code Quita50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code Quita50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. You can get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. And this is valid. This offer is valid only for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Okay, let's move on to the other thing I want to talk about with UCLA, and it involves Sienna Betts.
Corey, what's the latest on Sienna, and is it possible she would be able to play next game?
Yeah, we're taking it day by day with her. She was in there working this morning, and I was like, oh, man, I sure would like to get her out there. We really is just sort of a week-by-week kind of thing. I really don't know the answer to that. She is coming along great. I asked our trainer today, like, how do you feel about her progress? Do you feel like it's going? She says, I think she's doing a great job. I think it's going really well. I just don't. I literally haven't been given a timeline yet.
All right, so this is the update for Sienna Betts. Remember, guys, Sienna Betts did get injured about a week or so ago, and she has had to miss the first couple of games of the season. She's TBD, game by game. Again, guys, as I told you before, I wouldn't be surprised if she's out for a significant amount of time, meaning a couple more games, possibly for more of the November games. And that's because really Sienna's a freshman. You need to ensure that when she steps on the court, she is 100% ready to go. There's no need to rush a player like a Sienna Betts. No need. We all know how good she was in high school. I don't doubt that she has a lot of talent in college. Again, she's going to be playing with her sister. A lot of stuff that UCLA is already working out in terms of like getting Charlize Legger-Walker like totally back, because again, she is someone who just came back from injury as well. Well, not just came back, but like she was out all last season due to injury. And so and Kiki Rice is another player who is sort of getting back together. And so like a lot of adjustments for this UCLA team. And personally, guys, I hope that they keep Sienna Betts out as long as possible until this girl is 100%, because if she's 100% and on that court, like I truly think it's going to be an awesome thing to see. I really do believe that. But again, guys, UCLA does have some really what I would consider interesting games that you all need to be watching out for coming up. And it would be nice, sure, it would be nice to see Sienna Betts play next week as UCLA plays Oklahoma. But at the same time, I do want to wait. I do want to wait about. I do want to wait for her to be 100%. Right? And so 2 easy games to sort of start out the season for UCLA between San Diego State and Santa Barbara, but it gets difficult come next week because on the 10th they play Oklahoma. On the 13th they play North Carolina. So yeah, I think that's going to be fun. And then it gets a little bit easier, and then they play Texas and Tennessee, and then it gets a little bit easier, and then they play Ohio State. And so, like, basically what I'm trying to say is, yes, Corey Close talked about how difficult it has been to schedule and whatnot, but she has put together a very challenging test for her team. Now, is it all sunshine? Is it all hard games? No. It's broken up between easy games and hard games, but still, I do like the level of competition that we will see from UCLA. All right, so who knows? We may not see Sienna Betts in the next coming week, but that was the update from Corey Close. They are taking it day by day. Okay. Diane says, watched her play it this summer in the under-19 tournament, and she is clearly a great athlete. Sienna, yeah, she is. She's really, really, really good. Okay. Kimberly says, UConn women have to do that with their non-conference schedule since Big East women doesn't cut it. Yes. The Big East is not as horrible as some people like to say, but like it is also nowhere near Power 4. And so, yeah, UConn has to have a very challenging non-conference schedule because otherwise you're not playing nobody. Well, not to be disrespectful to the Big East teams. That's not what I'm trying to do. Because the Big East does, the Big East does have some squads that can kind of make some noise and whatnot, right? But for the most part, the top dogs is pretty much UConn. And that's kind of about it, right? I mean, yeah. So, yeah. Because I feel like in the past when I've talked about, Villanova's good and whatnot, and Creighton at times are good and whatnot. But here's the thing: at times, I've gotten people getting real mad at me by saying you so disrespectful to the Big East. When I'm like, oh, the Big East doesn't really have a lot of talent, and people are like, what? That's so disrespectful. And I'm just like, well, I'm trying to be respectful to your league, but at the same time, yes, Villanova is pretty good. Yes, at times, Creighton can be good. But at the same time, is nowhere near as competitive as the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, or even the Big 12. And so, yeah. All right. Chicago Cheetah said is talking about UConn says they should leave the conference. Here's the thing: conferences do not run on women's basketball. Okay. The decision to move conferences is pretty much solely reliant, for the most part, in college for colleges. It's pretty much solely reliant on football and men's basketball, but primarily football. And so just because UConn absolutely dominates in women's basketball and therefore they should be out of the Big East does not mean that the school will do that for women's basketball. Because again, for the vast majority of schools, it's based on football, but also, men's basketball might have a factor. But pretty much, it's football. And so, yeah. I don't think the other Power Four conferences want UConn football. And so I think that's the issue. I think that is the issue right there. Okay? All right. Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on, guys, to the final topic. And I've sort of teased this at the beginning of the show when I talked about the $2 million WNBA player. And I just knew after yesterday's show, I just knew that I would just have to sit and wait, and we would be rewarded with another article from Annie Costabile that actually went into further detail. And I patiently waited, and that article has arrived, and it has given us way more information than we knew about yesterday. And so therefore, I am giving you all an update because we got one. Okay? So, yesterday, you all remember I talked a lot about Project B and Nneka Ogwumike making the decision to play for Project B and also be the first public WNBA player to go to Project B. Okay? Then Annie Costabile ended up writing an article yesterday kind of talking about it. And there's a line in here that I was like, whoa. Because we knew that Project B was going to be giving players a lot of money, right? But we didn't know the amount of money. Well, the amount of money is $2 million. Look at it. Look at this line. Look at this line, y'all. Annie says those same sources said multiple stars are being offered 7-figure salaries starting at $2 million annually, with their earnings for multi-year deals reaching 8 figures. In addition, players will receive equity in the league similar to unrivaled guys. You mean to tell me Nneka Ogwumike is getting $2 million? $2 million to play in Project B? Oh my goodness. $2 million. From what we understand, $1 million is not even on the is not even a thing that would be offered in this new CBA for the max. Last I read, it was like 800,000 or something like that. For the maximum. And you mean to tell me Project B is offering $2 million? Huh. It's a lot of money, right? I don't know. I don't have money like that, but to me, $2 million seems like a lot. And I know for a lot of WNBA players who have never sniffed $2 million, this is a lot. This is a lot, guys. Okay? The article continues, says a number of WNBA executives told Front Office Sports the immediate reaction to the new 5-on-5 league, which will feature 6 teams of 11 players, is one of curiosity. While the season doesn't come in direct competition with the WNBA calendar, multiple sources question whether the league could be an indirect threat to the WNBA in time, and suggested that some WNBA players could consider foregoing the season if CBA negotiations continue to go poorly, which is basically kind of what we were alluding to yesterday. Yes, technically, Project B does happen after the WNBA season and does end right before the WNBA season starts. So it's right in that off-season gap. However, the amount of money they're paying and the likelihood that players, now this was a thing, in the past, and I think it's becoming less of a thing now. Players don't want to play literally 12 months out of the year. And so, eventually, this could absolutely be an issue for this team, right? And then the article kind of talks about, Diana Taurasi when she sat out and whatnot. But yeah, man, this is interesting. And then this line actually says exactly what I was talking about yesterday. It says multiple WNBA executives viewed the Ogwumike announcement, again, as she is the WNBA president, as an intentional move to exert pressure on labor negotiations. Of course, that's why she did it. It's very smart. As I said yesterday, it's politics, man. Like, yes, does she want to make more money with Project B? Absolutely. But the idea of having her be the first announced player while negotiations is happening is very, very intentional. Extremely intentional. Okay? It's basically to say, hey, WNBA, y'all don't want to come to a deal? Y'all don't want to make a deal? Well, look at all the options we got. Not only do we have unrivaled, but look at this. That the president of the Players Association just signed up for. Look at this. $2 million. The WNBA cannot compete. You cannot compete at all with that. What can you do? Nothing. You can do nothing. Okay? There is nothing you can do to compete with a league that is going to have Saudi money behind them. You can't compete at all. And so, and also a thing to note, every player is not getting $2 million. The top players are getting $2 million. And the assumption I'm making is that Nneka Ogwumike, especially her being the first player to announce, she is a top player and she will be making $2 million. But the majority of players in this new league will likely not be playing anywhere, not be getting paid anywhere near that. Here's the thing. Y'all remember how much how much the Saudis have really been paying to really get into sports a whole lot more. There's a lot of money that's being poured into that's been getting poured into Saudi-backed leagues. Y'all remember like how much Saudi Arabia is paying Cristiano Ronaldo to play, and the other players in that league are not even getting anywhere close to what he's making. He's making a ton of money, and everybody else is like kind of getting paid, little scraps and whatnot. So yeah, no, not everybody who will be playing in Project B will make $2 million, but the top players will be making, at least according to this article, $2 million, upwards of $2 million, with some deals reaching 8 figures. 8 figures, guys, for multiple years. Just saying, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. All right. The article continues, says the most immediate threat Project B poses is to Unrivaled. Yep. That's what we talked about last year, because it is directly during the Unrivaled season. And also it does affect foreign leagues as well that play in the WNBA offseason as their seasons directly conflict. It says nearly 30 players in Unrivaled are signed to multi-year contracts. That's some new information for us. Okay, good to know. Says the league has exclusivity during its months of play, which could make them unavailable to sign with Project B, depending on the new 5-on-5 league's allowances. EuroLeague, for example, has multiple clubs with players who are under contract but will leave to play in Unrivaled beginning in January. Now, again, the thing I love about Annie's articles sometimes is she drops news that we didn't know in an article talking about something else. I didn't know. I did not know that multiple clubs in EuroLeague had contracts that allowed players to leave to play in Unrivaled in January. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Okay? But yeah. It's smart that Unrivaled got players in under multi-year contracts, because at least initially this won't be that big of a deal for as bad as it could be for Unrivaled initially. Because remember, Project B is supposed to start next year. Okay? Supposed to start next year. But Alex Basil, the president of Unrivaled, says, we're confident with what we've built in collaboration with our athletes, partners, and investors. We remain consistent in our approach to pay players competitively, provide meaningful stake in the business, and keep them home year-round. We will continue to be a player-first league that's additive to the overall women's basketball ecosystem and WNBA, and look forward to building the success from season one this upcoming January. So, yeah, interesting. Lots of players are not in Unrivaled that could possibly be in Project B. Just saying. Anyway, read the article. The article is called Project B is Offering WNBA Stars Multi-million-dollar Salaries. Read it. It was put out yesterday. Read it. I didn't go through the whole thing, mainly because I don't want her views on the article to be compromised. So I did some of my favorite highlights of the article. Read it for yourself. It's a really good read. Okay? But yeah, I really wanted to talk about that because I think that's super important. When we're talking about the future of women's basketball, of course, Project B is a huge factor. But yesterday, we did not know. Yesterday, when we had our live stream, we did not know that... We didn't know that this amount of money was on the table. Of course, we talked about how it's going to be way, way, way more than what WNBA players are currently getting. But we didn't know it was upwards of $2 million for the best players. Right? Again, multiple stars are being offered 7-figure salaries starting at $2 million annually, with their earnings for multi-year deals reaching 8 figures. In addition, players will receive equity in the league similar to Unrivaled. I don't know how you can compete with that. I don't know. Is this like the beginning of the end when it comes to the WNBA? Seriously, like, you can't, there's nothing you can do with that. There's so much money that is had. Are you just like putting the same comment over and over again? I guess Joseph really wants me to comment. Okay, Joseph. Joseph says, Quita, you are so biased towards South Carolina and the SEC. It is frustrating. Here's the thing. I don't know if you are aware, but for the last decade, South Carolina has been at the top of women's college basketball consistently, year after year. So, of course, wouldn't I talk about one of the best teams in college basketball? A team that is consistently winning. A team with one of the best coaches ever in Don Staley. Wouldn't I talk about them? And wouldn't I talk about the SEC, who overall has been super dominant? Wouldn't I? The SEC is the most competitive, in my opinion, league in college basketball. It is. It is. Okay? And so, yeah. I talk about South Carolina because South Carolina is extremely good. And they are a very notable team in women's college basketball. I talk about the SEC because as a league, the SEC is kind of top of the top. Right? And so, yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Maybe this isn't for you. And that's okay. It's okay. It's not my fault that the SEC is extremely good. It's not my fault that South Carolina is extremely good. It's not my fault. That's not my fault. Blame them. Don't blame me. Okay? So it is what it is. I don't know. Let's see. Olivia says, Quita hates all teams. You can see her bias. Denise says, can't avoid pointing out Saudi's patriarchy and anti-women policies. The whole deal worries me. Can't avoid the politics. Yeah, that is something that I just think is very, very strange. Like, I just do. Like, I just think it's very, very, very strange. Like, Saudi Arabia in general getting like big into sports. And the idea of this league that will be getting Saudi money, a lot of Saudi money. I don't know. It is weird. It is just a weird thing. Very, very weird, actually. I have been in a lot of ways kind of struggling to kind of like really think about how I feel about it, which is why I haven't really talked about my opinion about specifically the Saudi Arabia of it all. But like the it's just strange. Like it's the sports stuff. It's the comedy, the comedy festival where we've seen like notable American comedians going over and doing comedy, but there's certain stuff they can't talk about, and so like it's very very strange. Now, of course, players get your money and all that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. I need to like really work out like all of my thoughts on this, and then maybe I'll do like a separate thing about it. But like it is concerning. It is odd. And like why they're choosing women's basketball to back. I don't know. It's just odd. Very, very odd. Considering, the things we know. So. Anyway. Any other comments? Nancy, good question. Nancy says, if Project B stays with the number of teams, it will be at 66 players and Arrival will be at 50. There are plenty to go around, but what will happen with AU? Question mark. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Athletes Unlimited will continue, but I think it would probably end up getting even less of sort of higher tier players. It's very, very interesting. Okay, very, very, very interesting. Molly says some of these women played in, is that the Russian flag? Is it? I don't know. Insert country flag here. So I don't have a problem. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Smith says, I'm late. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. It's a good day to be alive. That's what I gotta say. Because it's always a good day to be alive. Okay, happy Friday, everybody. We got KB with a super chat. In all caps, America is a patriarchy and very anti-woman. Stop it. Do with that comment what you will. Oh, man. Nancy says they see the upside in investing in women's sports, question mark. I mean, yes, but I don't know if the women's basketball landscape is currently financially viable with paying upwards of $2 million to various players and going to 8-figure deals with various players. Like, I don't know. Yes, women's basketball is way bigger than the pie that the WNBA players are getting. Absolutely, 100%. But is it really to the level where it's $2 million for players to play in a traveling F1 style team? I don't know. I think that's the thing that I'm just like, I don't know. It's a lot of money that I'm just like, are we totally gonna see a return on, which is why I like Unrivaled's model a lot more, because I think yeah, I mean, yes, the pay is higher and whatnot, and that's exactly what you want it to be, but it doesn't feel unreasonable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, if you compare it to men's salary, of course, it's way less than what NBA players are getting, but also the audience is smaller. You know what I'm saying? I think the women's game is absolutely ready, and the WNBA absolutely should have a maximum of upwards of $1 million for top players. Absolutely. There should be bonuses for players who are helping to drive a lot of attention and money towards the WNBA. Absolutely. But I worry about the future viability of a league that is offering $2 million plus right off the get-go, upwards 8 figures. Because what if the Saudis back out? And then who has the money to continue to fund that? You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's a little bit interesting. It's fantastic, but the sort of longevity of it is what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about personally. That is true. That is very, very true. Very, very true. Shamika says, I'm actually pretty excited about the Upshot League. Yes. And I will be covering the Upshot League. Absolutely. I will be covering that, okay? Tisha says, do we say that when other performers make millions for one show / concert / seminar, etc., there are bench warmers in their sports making more? The baseball stadiums aren't full lately either. Yes. Which is, again, I'm at a little bit of I don't know. Yeah. Fair. Valid. I think valid point. I think I'm a little bit too future focused when it comes to women's basketball, that I'm just always thinking about okay, well, can this last the long run? And I think maybe in that way, I'm a little bit too in the weeds. But yeah, yes, make as much money as possible. I think women's basketball players absolutely deserve it. I think women's basketball is a growing thing that is not even a niche anymore. It used to be a niche. It's not even a niche anymore. It's gone mainstream in a lot of ways, and that's awesome. It's fantastic. I am just worried about just making sure that can continue, and it's a thing that's not just backed up by this one entity that just has a ton of money, right? Because what if they say, actually, we don't want to fund this anymore? Or what if they start to say, you know what, these players have to follow certain rules and whatnot, and then I think that's the thing that I am sort of thinking about in the future. For sure. Tisha says, it definitely won't last, but hey, let them get it while they can. Yeah. Hey. Let's see. B Girl says, Quita, have you researched Fran Harris League Exalt? No. I don't know anything about Fran Harris's League Exalt. I don't, actually. Well, this is going into my Google. And I will look into this. Yeah. I will look into this after work today. I will look into this and I'll report back. But that's fantastic. Okay. We got another league called Exalt. It says it tips off in 2026. Okay. Interesting. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me know about Exalt. B Girl, I really appreciate it. So everybody else, look up Fran Harris's league Exalt. If not, I'll cover it on the channel. Thank you for letting me know. I was not aware. I appreciate it. I am aware of the Upshot League, but was not aware of Exalt. So thank you. Anyway, I gotta get to work. Y'all have a great day. Be kind to someone. Be nice to someone. Tell somebody that they matter because they absolutely do. If no one has told you, you matter. Well, let me tell you, you matter. You are important. And I am so, so very happy that you are on this earth, guys. I love you. Most importantly, guys, Jesus loves you and he wants a relationship with you. Guys, see y'all in the next one. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye. Wait, I gotta find my exit. Okay. So long. Farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now. Until we meet again. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set.